Eldridge was a coastal town where the sea spoke in whispers and roars, its waves crashing against jagged cliffs that stood like sentinels. The townsfolk lived by the ocean's rhythm, but they feared its secrets. Alex Harper, a fisherman of 32 with sharp features and storm-gray eyes, was one such secret. The town knew him as a man marked by tragedy, though none dared say it to his face. 2 years ago, Clara Evans, a vibrant 19-year-old, had drowned near the cliffs. The police called it an accident, a slip on wet rocks during a storm. But whispers painted a darker picture. Alex had lured her there, kissed her against her will, and left her to the waves. No evidence pinned him to the crime, and he walked free, but Clara's shadow clung to him. Lily Evans, Clara's younger sister, returned to Eldridge at 21, her golden hair and sea-blue eyes a haunting echo of her sister. Driven by grief and a vow for justice, Lily wasn't seeking a courtroom's verdict. She wanted Alex to confess, to break under the weight of his guilt. She had spent months planning, studying the tides, the cliffs, and Alex's habits, his solitary evenings at the docks, his whiskey-soaked nights at the Rusty Anchor. She rented a cottage overlooking the ocean, its windows framing the cliffs where Clara died. Her plan was a net, and Alex was the catch. Lily's first move was bold. One stormy evening, she entered the Rusty Anchor, her presence silencing the room. She wore a simple dress, but her confidence made it striking. Alex sat in a corner booth, nursing a drink. Without invitation, she slid in across from him. "You're Alex Harper," she said, her voice steady, edged with steel. He looked up, eyes narrowing. "And you are?" "Lily Evans." She watched his reaction, searching for guilt. His jaw tightened. "Clara's sister. I heard you left town." "I'm back." She leaned forward. "And I want to talk about Clara." Alex's grip on his glass tightened. "It was an accident. Police said so." "Accidents don't leave bruises on wrists," she said softly, "or lipstick that isn't hers." He froze, a flicker of fear in his eyes. "You're chasing ghosts, Lily. Let it go." He stood and left, but Lily smiled. She had planted the first seed. Over the next month, Lily wove herself into Alex's life with precision. She appeared at the docks, asking about his boat, her curiosity disarming. She bumped into him at the market, her laughter bright. She joined the local book club, knowing Alex's sister was a member and used it to get closer. To outsiders, it looked like friendship, perhaps romance. But every smile, every word, was a thread in her trap. Alex was wary but drawn to her. Lily reminded him of Clara, her fire, her defiance. But where Clara had been trusting, Lily was unyielding. He found himself seeking her out, despite the danger he sensed. She was a puzzle he couldn't solve, a challenge he couldn't resist. One evening, as the sun sank into the sea, Lily suggested a walk along the cliffs. "The view's better up there," she said, her tone light but her eyes daring him. Alex hesitated. The cliffs were where Clara died, a place he avoided. But Lily's gaze pulled him in, and he agreed. They climbed the narrow path, the wind sharp, the waves roaring below. The sky was gray and orange, storm clouds looming. They stopped at a ledge overlooking the sea, the exact spot where Clara's body was found. "This is where it happened, isn't it?" Lily asked, her voice cutting through the wind. "Lily, don't," Alex said, his face darkening. "Don't what?" She stepped closer. "Ask about my sister? Or make you face what you did?" "I didn't do anything," he snapped, but his voice wavered. Lily's eyes blazed. "You kissed her, Alex. She told me how you wouldn't leave her alone, how you trapped her here, forced yourself on her, and then—" Her voice broke, and she looked away, fists clenched. Alex's breath was ragged. "That's not how it was. Clara slipped. I tried to save her." Liar, Lily hissed. She moved closer, her face inches from his. Confess, Alex. Right now. Or I'll make sure this town knows what you are. Something broke in Alex. Guilt, fear, or both. He grabbed her arms, his grip bruising. You want the truth? He growled. Fine. I kissed Clara. She fought me, and she fell. It was an accident, but I didn't save her. Happy now? Lily's eyes flashed with triumph. She had his confession. But before she could pull away, Alex's lips crashed against hers. The kiss was rough, desperate, a collision of anger and guilt. Lily froze, her mind reeling. This wasn't part of her plan. She shoved against him, but his hold was tight, the sea at her back trapping her. Time stopped. The waves roared, the wind howled, and Lily's heart pounded. With a surge of strength, she broke free, stumbling toward the cliff's edge. Alex reached for her, his face twisted in horror, but her foot slipped on the wet rock. She fell, her body vanishing into the churning water below. Alex stood frozen, staring at the spot where she disappeared. The sea swallowed her, just as it had Clara. He sank to his knees, the weight of 2 deaths crushing him. But he didn't know Lily's fall was no accident. Lily had planned every detail. She knew the currents, the shallow ledge hidden beneath the waves where she could land safely. She had timed the tide, practiced the fall. The confession was her goal, and the kiss, though unexpected, only sharpened her resolve. She let herself sink, holding her breath until her lungs burned, then swam to a hidden cave along the shore. Shivering but alive, she waited until the tide receded, then climbed out. Her plan was complete. Let Alex believe she was dead. Let him drown in guilt, convinced he had killed again. She would leave Eldridge, start over, and carry Clara's justice with her. But as she sat in the cave, her lips still stinging from Alex's kiss, doubt crept in. The kiss hadn't just been his crime, it had been hers, too. She had pushed him to the edge, knowing his darkness, and in that moment she had felt a twisted echo of what Clara must have felt. Lily shook off the thought. She couldn't falter. She climbed to her cottage, changed into dry clothes, and packed a bag. By dawn, she was gone, leaving Eldridge behind like a ghost. Alex unraveled. He didn't report Lily's death. How could he? The town would turn on him, and this time, there'd be no escape. He stopped fishing, stopped talking. He drank until the world blurred, but Lily's face haunted him. Her lips, her fall, her accusation blending with Clara's. Weeks passed, and Eldridge whispered again. Lily's disappearance was a mystery, but no one linked it to Alex publicly. The police searched, found nothing. The sea, they said, kept its secrets. One night, Alex returned to the cliffs, the place where both sisters vanished. The wind was fierce, the waves crashing like a judgment. He closed his eyes, seeing Clara, then Lily. Their faces merged, their accusations echoing. He stepped closer to the edge, the sea calling him. Alex! A voice stopped him. He turned, heart stopping. Lily stood there, hair wet from mist, eyes burning with fury. You're not getting off that easy, she said. Live with it, every day. That's your punishment. He blinked, and she was gone. A shadow in the storm. Or a hallucination. Lily didn't stay. She boarded a bus to a distant city, changed her name, her hair, her life. But she carried the weight of her plan. The kiss, the moment she became something else. She had avenged Clara, but at a cost. The sea had taken her sister, and in a way, it had taken her too. Alex never left Eldridge. He lived in silence, a ghost among the living. The town avoided him, sensing his darkness. Years later, his body was found on the cliffs, facing the sea. Some said he jumped. Others said the ocean claimed him. Years later, a writer came to Eldridge, chasing tales of the haunted cliffs. She heard of Alex and the Evans sisters from barroom gossip and old clippings. She wrote The Forced Kiss, a novel that became a bestseller. Readers debated, was Lily a hero or a villain? Was it tragedy or justice? The sea kept its silence, and the truth stayed buried in its depths, where only the waves could judge.